Hi there, it's Janice Miner, and welcome to Reset and Restore, where we are a brief, audible eye opener just to remind you of your responsibility to steward your entire being. That's your spirit, your mind, and your body. I don't know if you are new to this channel, you just stopped in, or somebody told you about it, but for whatever reason that you landed here, I am so glad you're here. You can do me a favor by just hitting that subscribe button and ringing that bell for notifications so that you won't miss out on any of the life lessons, health nuggets that I'm going to share through this channel. And again, thank you for being here. Well, today we're going to talk about a continuation on inflammation. We talked about inflammation before in my first little episode. We talked about what inflammation is, the differences between good and bad inflammation, and how you can do some home testing to find out what type of inflammation you may be suffering from. But today we're going to talk about some common foods that causes inflammation. And most of us have them in our diet every single day. Can you guess what they are? If you said sugar, you are correct. Sugar, high fructose corn syrup, that leads to an elevation of our blood sugar markers, and that's found in sugary soft drinks, sodas, candy, cakes, cookies, crackers, brownies, anything that is processed basically, or that you make from something that's already processed, has a high amount of high fructose corn syrup. Even in our condiments and in our syrups, they are in there. So you have to really watch and read your labels to make sure that the product that you are buying does not contain high fructose corn syrup. That is a big contributor to the pain that we feel, joint pain, from inflammation, from the bad inflammation. And the second is trans fats. And these are fats from solids like shortening, margarine, lard. These are the oils that have been hydrogenated. They have been saturated from a solid form under a very high heat, which now transforms that into a liquid. And we use that liquid in great quantities as oil to fry with. We fry fish, we fry chicken, we fry pork chops, we fry kebabs, we fry French fries, we fry dough, we fry. And the third one is carbohydrates that are refined. And refined carbohydrates are the carbs that go through the process that strips all of that good stuff out of them. It takes out the bran, it takes out the fiber, it takes out the minerals, it takes out the wheat germs, and then now we're left with this powdery white stuff that has been chemically stripped, and now we enrich it by adding artificial ingredients to mimic all the good stuff that's just been stripped out. Go figure. Well, that leaves us with, the white pasta, the white rice, the white breads, and all of these are very high on the glycemic index. And the fourth one is alcohol. Alcohol is a catalyst for inflammation. Forget about all the sugar content that it has in it. But if you are going through a bout with stiffness in your joints, or you just feel achy in your body, you have swelling in some joints or areas in your body, or you're suffering from an injury that's taking a little more than adequate time to heal, or that it is in the healing mode, my advice is to steer clear of alcohol, because we talked earlier about the C-reactive proteins that are found in our blood, and at an elevated level, that is an indication that there is some bad inflammation going on in there. And alcohol is definitely an elevator of these C-reactive proteins. And there's AGAs, which are advanced glycolination in products. And in the medical world or in the health food world, we call those AGAs. And they are a harmful compound that's found when protein or fat or a combination of both of them are combined with sugar in our bloodstream. Now, AGAs are found in red meat, they're found in processed meats, and they're found in meats that contain nitrates. Not only do they spike inflammation, but clinical studies have proven that these lead to cancer. That's why, in my opinion, and it's my opinion, everybody has an opinion, that the keto diet, although it causes rapid weight loss, at what long-term health price are you willing to pay? I'm just saying, it's food for investigative thought, right? Deli meats with nitrates are among the same list of deadly carcinogenics as asbestos, plutonium, and cigarettes. But our FDA won't slap on a sticker that says, warning, may cause cancer. I wonder why not. And another contributor is gluten. Gluten is a contributor if you have a sensitivity to gluten or if you have celiac disease. Otherwise, the consumption of a little gluten it's not gonna hurt you. The other that is controversial is nightshade vegetables. Nightshade vegetables are the vegetables that, grow in the dark. They're like potatoes and peppers and tomatoes and eggplants. There's no evidence or no medical evidence that the nightshades are a culprit to inflammation, but in some studies, participants couldn't tolerate them very well, and that may be because they had a sensitivity or a allergic reaction to those. That's why I like to use a method called crowding out. And as we begin to crowd out some of those things, we are able to now actually see what is causing a flare up in our own body. And everybody's different. Everybody's different. That's why the crowding out process works very well. Remember that I said in part 1 that not all inflammation is bad? Well, that's because we need inflammation fighters that are normal in our body. The normal level of inflammation in our body promotes a healthy immune system. And they go to work to rescue us, bring us back to health when we have a cold or a cut or a bee sting or a sprain or exertion from too much exercise or being just so physically active, and now we need that inflammation to get us back to a level keel. That inflammation is good inflammation because it gets to work on its job of wound care. But if there is an excessive buildup or too much of the inflammation, and it's like that inflammation faucet that just won't turn off, well, then that becomes chronic. And the result of that can be persistent pain. So now that you're aware of some of the triggers, I want to share with you some of my inflammation fighters that I eat almost every day. And, I always go to nature. I do it the natural way first. And so there are some natural foods that are known to be inflammation fighters. And so you might ask me, well, Janice, why do you eat these things, in some form every day? Well, because number one, they reduce the chance of exasperating any autoimmune condition or any autoimmune disease, cancer or type 2 diabetes or joint issues or metabolic syndrome. And I am all about nutrient richness in what I put in my body. And a good fighter of inflammation is omega-3 fatty acids. And we can find that not just in meat, but we find it in plant-based foods. And I love to get my omega-3s from my plant base. And I do that by getting flax seeds and walnuts and chia seeds and hemp seeds and kale and Swiss chard and spinach and all the deep, dark, leafy green vegetables. I can eat this very, very simply, and you can too. If you like oatmeal, just sprinkle a tablespoon of any of these seeds, whether it's flaxseed, whether it is hemp seed, whether it is chia seed, over your cereal. If you like cold cereal, you can do the same thing. If you're a good smoothie person and you want a smoothie in the morning, just add a tablespoon of these seeds into your smoothie. Even if you eat teff, when you make teff into this porridge, fantastic. Put it in the, put it in here. I make a awesome chia pudding, and a chia pudding. I'm going to share that. A banana, probably a banana pumpkin, since it's fall season. A pumpkin chia pudding. And check out my recipes. Go to www.cuhealthy.com, hit that little recipe section, and it will be there. I think you'll enjoy that. I also make a meatless mixture for my taco mix or my burrito mix, and that is wonderful. I do it with walnuts and lentils, diced tomatoes, all of my, cumin and turmeric seasonings and paprika, and then a bunch of cilantro. I just go cilantro, cilantro, cilantro. And I'll tell you some benefits of cilantro too a little bit later on. And if I want burgers, then I just add some chickpeas, some kidney beans, or maybe some chickpea powder, and then I can make a burger. So you've got a plant-based burger that's full of omega-3s. And you can even make meatballs out of the same mixture. The last one I'm going to tell you about is probably my very favorite one, and that is sweet potatoes. I love sweet potatoes. Whether they are sweet potato fries, whether they are a baked sweet potato, whether I make a mashed sweet potato, whether I make a sweet potato smoothie, or whether I just slice them very thin and use them as a dip for my hummus. Sweet potatoes contain beta carotene and anthocyanins, and the anthocyanins is the photochemical that gives these sweet potatoes their beautiful, rich color. And it is that color that is the inflammation fighter. Speaking of color, I love purple potatoes. Purple potatoes and those little white Japanese potatoes, they are so flavorful. They're full of flavor and the texture is just divine. So those are some things that you can try too. Now, as I say, I always like to give some 1, 2, 3 things that's going to help you keep your body strong, keep your body going, keep your body fighting off infection and disease. Omega-3 fatty acids was one of the things that do that. And with the list of telling you those things that actually triggers some inflammation, hopefully you will be mindful when you go shopping or when you're making your meals. And as I always say, what do I always say? See you healthy. And until next time, bye-bye. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. See you later. Bye-bye.